people only do their best work when they work in tandem with other people. He had this broad spectrum of collaboration. He had 2 phones.
Oh.
There was the one phone where it was his iPhone, and he had a Samsung phone. You see, the Samsung phone was the phone that was for the streets. He'd walk up to people on the streets in order to secure business. He'd walk up to people on the streets to improve his network. He'd walk up to people that were in situations that he was trying to improve. And he would contact them, and he'd call them, and he'd speak to them, and he would speak to his employees one-on-one. You had a personal relationship with the guy, and he did that because he felt the more partnerships he built, the more he would be able to do. That's the kind of impact you're looking to make, something truly global. So that was the idea behind the Afro-Red Foundation, to get all the fragmented people who are working on the SDGs in individual places to come together, right? We'd pool your resources, we'd streamline and align your objectives together, and then we'd focus them, fund and streamline, and then we'd fund your objectives and put everybody together. But I also discovered how much influence the US has on the things we do here.
Oh, yeah.
I am very heartbroken to tell you that I am happy that USAID was shut down.
If you're listening to this and you're not a Gen Z, you might want to turn this off.
Trigger warning.
Well, welcome to Beyond the Base podcast, and this is a podcast by Gen Zs, for Gen Zs, and anyone else who cares to listen, where we talk about business, culture, technology, and the world as a whole through young Nigerian Gen Zs. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Base podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Base Manolu, and today in the building we have the main character.
My name is Ividakwo. I'm sorry I've not been around. I've been in and out of Lagos and Abuja, so
It's been flexing, you know.
No, I've not been flexing, I promise you. Yeah.
Yeah, and today in our midst we have a very, very special guest. How do we introduce him?
Come on. Okay, so I have a story to tell. There was a time in 2023
He's gonna do the thing.
my cousin and I, we had kind of like a soiree. We used to do that a lot in 2023 where we invite random people. I think you were there. Yeah. And they asked us to introduce ourselves. And this young man introduced himself as part-time genius. I'm proud to announce that he's no longer just a part-time genius. He is a full-time genius.
Lagos State Governor for 2040 or 2045, which one?
We're not supposed to announce that just yet. The ops will come from me.
Okay, fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Laotan Faji.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've rebranded, so because you need to have a persona.
Okay, so
I have my Instagram handle. It's my official, so it's just Laotan.
Okay.
Yeah, we just go by
I'm still going to
Laotan
call you Laotan. I remember the first time I heard his mom call him Laotan. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute.
It's very rare because she typically goes. She's actually the one who started the Laotan.
Because I remember the first time. I think it was in 2019. I came to your house.
Yeah.
I think I was working at somewhere close to Osborne, and then I heard his mom say Laotan, and I was like, that's so cute.
Yeah, and is this your nickname, Hendelson?
Yeah.
Where did that come
I get
from?
the pronunciation correct?
It's Handelson.
Handelson. Okay.
Where did that come from? It's here comes former part-time genius. So I'm a classical music aficionado. I wouldn't say I'm a nerd. And those are two of the composers that have influenced the way I see classical music. Felix Mendelssohn and George Friedrich Handel. So I used to, I still do actually listen to a lot of Handel. I listen to a lot of Handel. I take inspiration from his work. I love Zadok the Priest. I love everything in the entire Messiah. I could listen to the entire Handel's Messiah from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'll do for the day. It's 3 hours long. It's a beautiful thing. You should do it in your spare time. But I also like Mendelssohn's work. I've done some of his choral work with the choir, and I take a lot of their influence, and I used some of it in my first composition, which was 2 or 3 years back. It was a very simple thing. I wouldn't go too far.
Is it that one that got played at the church?
Yeah, it was played at both of my parents' birthdays. Yeah, they're addicted to the sound.
They played it yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday
I came late. Yeah. That's why.
But yeah, I just got their names, meshed it together. I removed the H from Mendelssohn, and I took the Scandinavian, the AE thing that's put together, and then I put it in the Handel just to give myself a classical music stage name.
That's nice.
If you
That's
like.
actually quite cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, yeah. So you've met Faji, or you've met Laotan.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And I think we should also add that he just came back,
Yeah,
IJGB
IJGB.
vibes.
Come on, guys. Come on.
No, you're in that class now. You're in that
come
class
on,
now.
come on.
IJGB. Like anytime you get back, because literally anytime Laotan gets back, we're always like, okay, guys, we need to get together. Like we need to
Exactly.
do something because Laotan is back. So you're in that class now.
So how does it feel? How does it feel to be back in the?
Honestly, it's only been a year, so it doesn't really feel like I'm back. It feels like I don't want to be cliche and say it feels like I never left, but it genuinely does feel like I never left.
Yeah.
Except though,
Okay.
when I left, I was just complaining to Baze. What happened in this country in 1 year? I was buying data today, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. The data plans are so expensive now.
IJGB.
I was so confused.
But yeah, I understand you because when I left, so when I went to Europe in last year, September, right? The things that changed in 1 month, like I came back and I was like, because when I went, I think fuel was still like around like 700.
Yeah.
Okay.
I landed and I wanted to go buy like fuel the next day.
Yeah.
And I was slapped with 1,100 and I was like, what is going on? Like, and this was September, October.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I'm back in Nigeria.
And it's bad. Like the rate at which things have spiked is.
But things are steady now. Like
Yeah.
things are
Yeah,
steady
they
now.
are.
So
it's stable, but it's still high up.
It's like a plateau.
Yeah.
It
But
rolls
it's-
up and
well, do you think it's a plateau and there's still like a little peak it can go or it can start coming back down? Because I genuinely believe that a lot of things can start coming back down. Maybe not drastically, but like steadily start coming back down, and well, maybe not back to the days of when we were using like pseudo metrics, like like pseudo like official rates and like subsidize this thing. Like I don't think we can get back there, but I think eventually, like we would, like us as individuals would match up to the current realities in terms of like purchasing power and earnings.
Yeah, I mean, there's really broadly two ways that could happen. It's either the currency itself strengthens or their earning power increases, their capacity to earn money increases.
Which one is more likely?
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
I think that earning power would increase before, in fact, currency strengthens. Mainly because for the currency to strengthen, right, we would need to do a lot of international business. And it's not like a lot of international business outside of oil. So we'd have to be doing like exporting, like not even raw materials. We have to be exporting proper finished goods and selling on the international markets. And that was going to take a while because our manufacturing industry is getting there.
It's improving.
It's improving. So it will take another like maybe 5 to 6, 7 years before that currency strengthening actually happens.
Yeah.
But in the short term, it's actually purchasing power that would increase. Mainly because people would, so for, what do you call it? You see like a company like Chowdeck, for instance, right? They just raised a good round and they can like employ more people, right? With Money Point too, I heard that they are also like trying to recruit more people in their expansion plans and everything. And you see like many of these businesses like doing things. So that would actually create more jobs for people, and even the people that are currently in the roles, their pay will get bumped up. So that's what I see in the short term.
I also think that there's a bit of scope as well for the currency to strengthen a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even right now, there is likely to be an influx of capital into Nigeria in the coming year or two, and that's just given the fact that the macroeconomic landscape has been stabilized generally.
Yeah.
There's a stable exchange rate, so people know what to expect in terms of like how to structure their investments.
So foreign investors will come back.
There's a bit more confidence in the Nigerian economy because the banks have been recapitalized. They've been asked to up how much they are able to take in terms of risk. So the banking sector is absorbing a lot of money. That means they're able to deliver a lot more capital into the economy. that has had a ripple effect on the NSE. I think if you've noticed.
I was just about to say that the
up
banks have been.
Yeah, so the NSE generally this year has been ridiculous. I think it's had one of its strongest years ever.
Yeah.
I think last week or 2 weeks ago, the all share index hit an all-time high or something like that in the trillions. Oh. So those are the small symbols that you see that people are beginning to get more confident in Nigeria. And for all the criticisms that this government gets, valid criticisms that this government gets, I do think the confidence is on the high. I do think capital inflow will come on. And as it improves, I think with time the currency will strengthen. It happened in Ghana in a relatively quick period. They shored up the basics, and all of a sudden, the cedi became the best performing currency in the world. I think in 2025, the Ghanaian cedi is the best performing currency in the world. And I know it's not the best time in Ghana right now because of the loss of their two very senior.
But when you say confidence, right? I would like you to clarify that as investor confidence, because the people on the ground, they're not like the people on the ground are not
definitely investor confidence. I should say.
Because when I saw the huge disparity in my mind when I saw the news on their currency performance and the reality of the everyday Ghanaian. Because for me, that's the fear I have with us as well. Like, even as there are lots of positive performance metrics for governments, seeing that trickle down to everyday citizens, that time gap is still going to be there.
But then the thing is that for it to trickle down to everyday citizens, right? Like what I was saying before, you actually need to create jobs. Right, and the thing is that the type of jobs that would actually increase the purchasing power for a large number of Nigerians, because again, we have to remember that a lot of the population is uneducated, right? The type of jobs that will that would be beneficial for them are the type of jobs that you get in manufacturing, for instance, like in a factory, or you get in large scale farming, for instance, like those type of things, right? Where in mass, so let's say you have a train producing plant factory, for instance, right? And you can recruit a lot of people to walk the line, right? At the bottom line.
It's a good thing you mentioned that. There's this small challenge with that, and it's that we're in 2025. It's a problem that the US is also facing, unfortunately, because they think a sudden return to the manufacturing industry is just going to solve a huge number of problems. So they're putting time.
The industrial age itself hasn't passed, or it has passed.
It's evolving.
It's evolving.
Yeah, I get you.
But I think Nigeria skipped that in large parts.
Yeah. But I mean, industrialization is inevitable.
Yeah, we have to have it for development, and that's why I'm saying, like, for the large, like, okay, so example, I was going to cut my hair sometime this week, and then where I cut my hair, they have a building, like they're building a house, and there were lots of like boys going up and down carrying cement and everything, and then like I saw, when I mean boys, I don't mean like young, I don't mean young children, like, okay, guys, a lot of guys, right? Before somebody come and say they're doing child labor here, but like a lot of like guys going up and down carrying those things, and then I was just like, so I think in 2022 there was this trend of your daily 2K, right? These guys are getting their daily 2K, and like these are a set of people now that are doing honest work. Right, and they're getting paid for it, right? Though the wages may not be so good, but like with better like worker policies and worker protections, right? You would see like those type of people, they are paid like their minimum wage or the minimum wage per hour that they get paid like go up, and they would have at least a little more money in their pockets, and that's another good thing about like the tax reforms that this government had done, right? One of the things that like one of the things that they've done is actually to at least try and get more money into the poorest of the poor. Like at least when they earn something, right? For instance, if you are earning between like below 800,000 like a year,
you don't get taxed at all.
You don't get taxed at all. So all the money you earn comes to you, right?
It's properly progressive now.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing, because now. And this is something my dad used to say to me growing up a lot, because this Nigeria whole concept, like my dad and I have been talking about it since I was like, 14, 15. And he used to tell me that for this place to grow, people need money to spend.
Yeah, of course.
People need money to spend. And I think that's what, again, right, like everybody has their opinions of this government, like our president and everything. But that's, I think, what is in his mind, that he needs to get as much money into the hands of the people as possible and bring in as much capital as possible into the economy. And that's why he's really focused on economic reforms. Like that's what he's been focused on for the like past 2 years. Yeah. Right.
He started immediately.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah, he hit everybody.
He hit the ground running.
His first words as president were economic reforms. Subsidy is gone.
Do you know that I find him funny? Like he's a funny individual.
He's the most meme-able.
I don't want to comment on the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
I mean, like when I find it funny, like he's the type of person. Like I was watching the speech he gave when the Super Falcons like won, and I was just laughing. I'm like, this guy is like, he's proper funny. Like I the speech he gave, I loved it. Yeah, like I loved it. I was laughing throughout. Funny thing was that I was in Abuja that day, and I was just like, I should have gone. I was like, I should have gone. It would have been nice to be there live.
That guy has the whitest expression.
Exactly. Yes. He's an Oreo. We will talk about that today.
Yeah, but I think one thing I really want to talk about is, it's like August has been an aviation month.
Oh,
if you know what I'm talking about. The amount of things that have happened this month alone is insane, especially with air travel. I don't know. I don't know. Who wants to start? Because I feel like I'm not too happy with how things have progressed. Let's start with the superstar that's tried to stop a plane. Like he's,
Again, valid criticisms of the government.
Right, and it all boils back down to big-manism in Nigeria, because who are you to think that you can stand in front of a plane? If the pilot was, not being mindful, if any mishap happened, that guy was gone.
I think the only reason K1 the Ultimate is still alive is because Nigeria is geographically not that large, for air travel. So I think the longest distance you can do, I think laterally, would be from Port Harcourt, which is furthest down south, to Borno, which is in the far northeast. I think that's as far as you can possibly go. And worst case scenario is an hour and a half. And there will definitely not be enough traffic to support that route. So you get a really small plane, an Embraer, CRJ, ERJ, and they have their engines mounted on the tail of the aircraft. Had it been an Airpiece Boeing 737, Quam 1 would have been Quam 1 juice.
Soaked into the
suya.
He would have been minced to pieces by the jet engine if they had rolled that, because obviously you could tell the pilot moved the jet without a tug. So you can only move a plane forward by pushing the aircraft into power.
Exactly.
So the fan would have been rolling. It would have sucked him into the thing.
Exactly.
And honestly, everybody would have felt justified.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of the matter. They'd be like, well, he was trying to stop a plane. What did he expect?
Yeah, and then there wouldn't have been any perspective from his side.
Yeah. No. There's nothing like perspective.
Exactly, because it was careless.
The truth of the matter is, it's aviation. It's very sensitive.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. Yeah.
It's very sensitive.
I know.
You can't do what you like.
Mm-hmm. For me, I feel
since 9/11,
just get a private jet. Look, if your ego fits, it's your wallet to support. Please. Because it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that he was now making calls was what even threw me off. Like, we live in a country where if you can make calls, you rule everywhere.
Yeah.
Police can't stop you because you probably know the person in charge.
You just call the IG.
You can get away with almost anything. And until that changes, it becomes a vicious cycle, because people at the bottom look up to people at the top, feeling like, once I make it, nobody can tell me anything.
But I don't think that's unique to here, though.
Yeah, but we have a system that enables it.
Yeah, but then, so let me say like this, the system is glaring, right?
Well, I think it's actually embedded into our consciousness
at this point. Yeah.
It's not just a systemic thing. The system allows it to happen.
I think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's the fact that even to be a successful person, largely, it's based off of the relationships you make.
Exactly.
You know? It's not democratic. Nigeria isn't democratic in the sense that America is. And I'm not talking about the system of government. I'm talking about the democracy to opportunity.
Yeah, okay.
Because in the US, you can grind your way easily to the top and be top in your business, whatever it is you do.
Yeah, without really knowing many people. You will meet people.
You will meet people because of the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But here, the easier way, the more accessible way, is to meet the people first and then decide.
How you want to
the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
So you grow up, especially if you're in the political circles, if you're in the powerful circles, you grow up with the mindset of, I know this person, I can get my way.
Yeah.
So when you get to when you're a man like Kwamon, you know, he has rings in the ruling the ruling class of the country at the moment.
Yeah.
And he can literally call anyone. Literally call anybody in the entire country that he wants to. Directly. You know. So there'll be a level of impunity he has naturally that comes with that, and that's because of the way he thinks. It's not that's one of the worst things I find about this country. It's the fact that people genuinely feel that there is some way to get away with everything.
Yeah, with everything. Yeah,
it's the thing that destroys our social fabric. It's the fact that I was speaking to someone in London and the person says, this is a very respected person, he's a senior banker, he was actually closing a deal, and he said he was driving from Colchester to London, and
distance context, because I can't picture it.
Distance context. Colchester to London. So Colchester is from London. It's the equivalent of driving from say here, which is Jibo.
Yeah.
You go east towards. Let's say you get as far as you get to the end of Ekpe.
Okay, that's quite a distance.
Yeah. So an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not the distance, but the time.
Just
think about it.
Okay.
And then he said in the middle of the journey, he got pressed. And he was like, snap.
I understand.
Darn it.
Yeah. He's in Nigeria.
I wish I was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I would have just packed. I would park anywhere. And I'm not too happy. But I'm here and I can't park. And I found it funny because obviously it's like, that's somewhat relatable. I wouldn't do that. I think that's sickening.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. But I thought, if this was Nigeria and it really came down to it, I probably would. In the UK, people still, that's not to say that they're not, they're human. At times, people do just rather be pissed off. In fact, on Thursday nights, Friday morning, you wake up because there are stimulus checks. You wake up on Friday morning and there's urine everywhere because people they've gone, they're drunk, they're throwing up everywhere. Yeah. So it's messy. It happens like that, but as a system, every Friday morning, Saturday morning, because clubbing.
Fair.
But here, it's in random places, next to a cemetery, next to a church, next to a school, on the road, bus stop, inside, outside, expressway. It doesn't matter. People just get, and it's done right there for everybody to see. Like, I have seen so many things I had no business seeing. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Just driving in Lagos. And it's just how we think as a people. There's so bloody much impunity. And that's what informed his decision. You can't get... First of all, I need somebody that is close to the Minister of Aviation to help me understand why we don't have jet bridges for our local aircraft. Because I don't think anybody has any business being on the tarmac or the apron unattended. That's an aviation no. You get the bus stops right next to the stairs that lead you in, and you get on. The fact that he was on the tarmac and the door was closed is crazy.
No, but then that's what they call it. That's like a breach in the protocol because the few times like I've gone between, right, the bus literally drops you at the stairs, and you climb up. So that's why like they were more like about like, okay, protocol down the line. What happened where? How did he get through here? Like, because it's a hope that there's a protocol. Like there's a protocol.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I guess that's why he ended up at that time.
Another thing that was violated is that it doesn't matter what the content of his bottle really was.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It's irrespective.
Yeah.
I was at the local airport here last year. I was going to Abuja and I had a bottle of water that I bought at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't bring it through with me to security. I bought it at the airport. And whilst I was preparing to board, they took my passport, they checked my ticket and everything, and my boarding pass. And they took my water and said, you either finish it here or you leave it here.
Yeah.
It was a
Crystal clear.
pure Nestle pure.
It
doesn't matter what it is. It's aviation security, and that's because if the content of your bottle is flammable and you carry it on board and there's a fire, you've killed everybody.
Yeah.
Facts.
You've killed and you don't give anybody a chance to survive. You've killed everybody.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether it's alcohol or sanitizer or perfume or it doesn't matter what it is. You shouldn't be able to carry a liquid. It doesn't matter whether it's clear or not. You shouldn't be able to carry a liquid. It's in a concealed container.
And that's why they and that's why they on the plane they would serve you like water or liquid on the plane because they have vetted what is coming onto the plane.
They know it's an issue of safety and security as well. You could use your liquid to start a fire. Who knows? So and I think when you are more exposed, right? You should
be more behaved, better
behaved. Yeah.
It's disappointing. He's an elderly man. He's very exposed.
70.
Yeah, he's well traveled. He's been at airports abroad. You shouldn't bring yourself to that level where you need to make a call. If you need to make a call to get out of the situation, then you probably shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. If you have the capacity to make that call,
you shouldn't
be found there. You shouldn't be found there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be, and that's why I say this. Honestly, I say this with a heavy grain of salt. But I think the apology is at the very least very necessary. But the whole ambassador charade is a huge disgrace.
But then the thing is, so I think because of the idea of ambassador, right? It's supposed to be like a community service type thing. You're going around sensitizing people. But even when I saw it, I was just like, ambassador is not the right.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, they're looking at a way to completely absolve him, and fortunately, by extension, the other lady will have a similar fate because it would be a misnomer. It would be obviously wrong to have one person in a very similar set of circumstances do something and then another person gets a completely different outcome. No, but if you take the findings, I mean, I'm sure there's an investigation ongoing. If you take the findings of the investigation and you take what was actually done, the consequences that were meted out, and you take it to the ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and you say, this is what happened. All of them in the room would read the thing and you just see that all of them would be puzzled. What is going on?
Let's not even go into that because I don't think we have I don't want to call it a justice system, but like a justice mentality to any of these things. It's just, how do we save face? How does this look good from a PR perspective? And but in order not to waste too much time on all of that drama, I was going to ask you about how your perspective of Nigeria, or even your perspective of Africa, has evolved. Because before you went, to start your masters, we had talked about projects that you want to do, and one of those projects was AfroRect, right? To really proliferate the rate of partnerships between a lot of NGOs and organizations and people. Because if you don't know about this, the SDGs are coming closer to their timeline, which is
2030. So that's 5 more years. No, not even 4.5 more years.
Right, and what's scary is the fact that there's still a lot of problems, a whole lot of problems. So the world is kind of at a place where we really need to fast track that progress, right? And but things are harder than they seem, especially when it comes to collaboration, which is quite strange.
It's an execution.
Right? Execution is usually the biggest headache. But from your perspective, how have things changed, right? Or how are things getting better?
Yeah, well, the SDG thing obviously is a direct evolution from the MDGs, which is the Millennium Goals. They had a timeline which was, I think, a bit shorter than
it was quite short.
2000, it was supposed to.
And obviously, if they had achieved their targets, then we wouldn't have the SDGs. So it tells you a lot.
Yeah.
So the SDGs are also going to run their course. It's very unlikely that, no poverty, no hunger is a big lie.
Yeah.
There will be poverty, there will be hunger in 2030, unfortunately, unless Elon Musk decides to. I hope he sees this and decides to end world hunger. But Jeff as well, your wedding, you could have. Anyway, let's just not be too dicey. Yeah, but the idea was, I was saying this earlier, that I have this, I said the Wigwe School of Thought. Herbert Wigwe of blessed memory. Yesterday was his birthday.
Oh.
Yeah. I celebrate. Yeah.
He's your mom's birthday, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But anyway, his mantra, his way of thinking was that people only do their best work when they work in tandem with other people. And so he had this broad spectrum of collaboration. He had 2 phones.
Oh.
There was the one phone where it was his iPhone, and he had a Samsung phone. You see, the Samsung phone was the phone that was for the streets. And I actually mean for the streets. Like, he'd walk up to people on the streets.
Yeah.
In order to secure business. He'd walk up to people on the streets to improve his network. He'd walk up to people that were in situations that he was trying to improve. And he would contact them, and he'd call them, and he'd speak to them, and he would speak to his employees one-on-one. You had a personal relationship with the guy, not with the figure, with the guy. And he did that because he felt the more partnerships he built, the more he would be able to do. That's the kind of impact you're looking to make, something truly global. And he did. If you were at his funeral, you'd see every damn last person. The president of France sent the delegation. The president, it's like everybody was there. And that's because he, if you check, had invested something in each of those people. And we're not talking people like myself, which he definitely impacted me a lot. We're talking Aliko Dangote shedding tears investment. You're talking Aigboje Agimokode shedding tears investment. That's how much of himself he put into other people to ensure that both parties were able to meet their objectives. So that was the idea behind the AfroRec Foundation, to get all the fragmented people who are working on the SDGs in individual places to come together, right? We'd pool your resources. We'd streamline and align your objectives together. And then we'd focus them. We'd gather like a network of volunteers, and we would fund and streamline. We would streamline, and then we'd fund your objectives and put everybody together. And that really was the vision I was driving at. And until I realized that there's a bit of malarkey. It's a joke. The NGOs, some of the NGOs that we run in this country, and some of them are just fronts for all sorts of ulterior motives. So I kind of toned that down a bit. But I also discovered how much influence the US has on the things we do here.
Oh, yeah.
And
just getting USAID shut down, the ripple effects it had on a lot of Nigerians and a lot of NGOs was also quite staggering. Like, I know loads of people that lost jobs or lost contracts because of that. So, I am very heartbroken to tell you that I am happy that USAID was shut down, because it was a tool for imperialistic, neocolonialistic objectives. It wasn't the AID.
It wasn't benefiting.
Listen, it's not USAID.
It's AID.
It's USAID, Agency for International Development. There's a reason it's an acronym. It's not for your development, it's for their development. They use you as a tool to keep you. I'm just not going to go into political stuff. There's a reason globalization is a thing of the past under President Donald Trump. Do the maths, okay? Do the maths. Anyway, so I discovered, I did a bit more research, and I discovered, this NGO thing is right. Let's not touch it with a stick, okay? But I have evolved the way I see the African continent.
Okay.
I've seen you hear that there are many people doing really great things. I was at Oxford, I was at Cambridge, I was at Imperial, I was at King's, I was at LSE, and boy are people making some serious moves. I cannot believe some of the things we're doing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There are people that are, honestly, we have so much intellectual capacity that's resident abroad.
So for instance, right, I you know how at the beginning of the season we had gone back and forth about like people staying here. I've kind of like over course of time, like I've kind of like reframed. Yeah, we need people here.
Yeah,
but I do understand that we need. So I think about how China sends their people abroad
en masse,
just to gather
you have to
their knowledge
specialty,
and bring it back,
sharpen the skills.
Yeah, so I do agree that we need. So now my position is we need people to go just to gather knowledge to come back, and that was what it was like in our parents' generation and their parents' generation. All they were going to do for school was to just go and learn and come back because we didn't have that expertise here, right? And right now we still don't have that concentration of expertise here. So we need people to go learn and come back, not jackpot that, I want to go and find a better life.
Okay, also we need to realize that we're operating in a market that's global. The world is increasingly it's global. It's not globalized. Those are two different. Globalization is exporting the dirty work to the global south and to the far east race system, but global south and the far east. China unfortunately destroyed that by becoming ultra productive.
Oh my god,
world superpower. So now they've realized, oh wow, we've messed up. We kind of need to find a way.
And they're coming for them with oil too as well, because they're heavily dependent on the US currently for a lot of oil. But I've seen the way China is going. China is going to be the sustainable, renewable energy giant of the world.
Oil is not a thing. Listen, there's a chart. Wherever you are, if you're watching this, go on and look for this chart and look at how fast solar generation in China is going. It's literally a reverse power curve.
Like, beyond that, even EVs, you know that they're incentivizing citizens to buy EVs.
And one thing because I've been like trying to up my knowledge on global politics and really understand how it affects Nigeria and really understand why the Chinese are so focused on Africa. And so in my course of reading and watching videos, I saw something, right? So this Elon's Hyperloop idea that he had been talking about years ago. China is implementing it. I saw it and I was like, bro, these guys are mad, man.
I already knew China was crazy, but DeepSeek was not really set things in stone.
DeepSeek wasn't. I don't think DeepSeek was it for me. I think I realized it when China. This is a very dicey topic, but China and Taiwan have this tension, and it's because of semiconductor manufacturing. And I discovered that there are some very specific tools, machines, and levels of expertise that are only available in those regions. And I just thought, these people are decades ahead.
So now my question is that we as Africans, should we be looking for knowledge in the global West? Now, at this point, should we be looking for the type of knowledge in the global West?
Listen, the university thing, and we digress from the Africa thing, I might come back to that. But the university thing is, what's happening is the top 20 universities in the world are competing fiercely. So you have, it's basically a very straightforward thing. You have England, the US, one or two in France, maybe one Australian one, and then Asian universities. You have Hong Kong, Singapore, China. Tsinghua University is, oh my god, I don't even want to go into, because recently there's a problem in computer science. It's TSP, I think traveling sales no problem, I think.
We did that. I remember.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a asymptotic notation. There's an upper bound on how fast you can solve it. There's an algorithm, Dijkstra's algorithm, that's able to solve the problem in a specific computational period. I don't want to be too technical. For years, I think at least 40 years, I still studied this 3 months ago as part of my coursework. For years, they haven't been able to improve on that by very much. These guys in Tsinghua University have just gone and been like, yo, we did that last week. The paper was released last week and they're like, you guys were 40 years.
I'm going to go read it.
We solved that. There's nothing left to solve.
I think one thing that China still symbolizes to me is the intentionality of a nation. They have a national focus. I've seen videos of Chinese boarding schools. And bro, they drill those children. Like, I don't want to call it like robotic, like a robotic system, but like from your break time. Because again, in Nigerian schools, we have those things, right?
Yeah.
You have your prep time, you go to the dining hall,
Yeah.
you have, but it is nothing compared to what
Nowhere near
like these children are engineered for greatness.
Yeah.
Math, science, technical skills,
Yeah.
forget it. And it's so painful that the rest of the world is just lagging behind. And we don't
On
know
that
what's
math
happening.
thing, by the way, there's something interesting I found is that it's a very nerdy thing, but I think there's a small advantage that they have to math. I was studying if there's something in their
genes or
that how are they so good. There's a slight advantage that they have that comes with like from basic arithmetic.
Yeah.
Because of the way their characters
language.
are. Their language has monosyllabic numerals.
Yeah.
So E by it's like the numbers are single syllables.
Yeah.
You know. So when you go 523, for them it's something a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So mentally the workload is compressed exponentially as the competition increases.
Oh, so that's why they're able to
pick things fast.
So any of the easy stuff is easier, a little bit easier,
and that makes a dramatic difference.
When you scale it up.
So like to explain, let me, because that was a technical. To explain, right? It's kind of like if you look at a number, right? You see the symbol. Your brain translates it to the words.
One to a word.
To the words, right? But then by the time you get to like, so you have 1 0 0 0 0 0 0, you have 1 million.
Yeah.
If you have 1 dash 1 0 0 0 0 0, you have 1 million 100. So you can even see how I had to think about it.
Exactly.
So what he's saying is that in the Chinese language, those things are a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So their brain just, and if you want to explain it in computer science terms, right, is that the data they're processing is like smaller.
Yeah.
So their brain can process faster.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a much smaller byte, but it contains the same amount of information.
Yeah. Like
it's just like comparing a memory card today or an SD card today to when laptops came out. My dad's
first. So that's like a visual representation of why they are better. But I think so. That means if I should learn Mandarin, I'll become better.
No, because you have to learn 5,000 characters to be learned enough to learn the words. So you need to learn 5,000 characters to learn the words
to now be able to learn the language. That's crazy.
So it's honestly the cognitive load to learn the language is actually a lot. If it's not native to you.
Exactly, because one thing I learned, and which
even
is why,
to them, even for them,
of course. But like one thing I learned, and I still have beef with the Gen X, their generation as a whole.
Yeah.
Millennials are still early parents, so they might get it right. Is that a lot of us get blamed for not knowing our native languages, which I still find to be a lot of crap, because a child within the first 3 years of its life can assimilate any language you give it. And I've seen 3-year-olds that can speak multiple languages at that age. Because once you pass that gap, the cognitive load is going to take
my uncle's
intentionally do.
My uncle's children, they can speak. They're Nigerian, by the way.
Yeah.
They know German.
Yeah.
They know Yoruba. They know Spanish. They know French. Right. When they were living in Abuja, right, their mom used to speak to them in French. So their mom is Nigerian as well. Their mom used to speak to them in French. Right. Dad used to speak to them in German. They had toys, French, German, speak to them in Yoruba as well. So I'm just like, man, I envy these kids.
So on the differences between, like the things that Africa should be doing, differences between Africa and like what has changed. I'm training to be a pilot, which probably explains why I was very passionate about the aviation thing.
I saw
that's something I want to do as well.
I saw you fly that plane then.
Yeah, so when I went to my first, because the UK's weather is horrible, like 70% of the year.
Yeah.
So I would go most weekends because I only had weekends, and I would be unable to fly because the weather was just too bad for you to fly without dying as a trainee. So the first time I actually flew, I felt so proud of myself because I was like, crap, finally I've done this thing. And I've been like, I'm in the air, I'm controlling the thing.
Fair.
And we landed, and I felt so ashamed because the person who took off after me was 16 years old, fully licensed. Fully. He was flying solo.
Because I know you had somebody.
Yeah, I had an instructor behind me.
Yeah.
This young lad had been flying since he was about 7 years old with his parents. And so, parenting is such an important thing.
Look at
Of a
Warren
society.
Buffett started learning about stocks when he was 8.
You see,
That man has traded more time in his lifetime.
One thing I don't think people realize is that he learned about stocks, and you think, oh yeah, he read a book about the stock market.
His father.
No. That's even like a passed down thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to learn oxyacetylene welding today, you'd have to go maybe to FCE, Akoka, Yaba Tech, Futa. You'd have to go to a highly specialized center that's really inaccessible. You wouldn't even think about it. To someone like you, someone like, I won't say you, let's say us, who were born into like where your family would prioritize formal education, that would seem like a step down. To there, if you have interest in whatsoever, football, you want to be like, you want to be a bricklayer, whatever. There are places where you will learn those things early.
Yeah.
At world-class standards.
Yeah.
That's the difference. At 9 years old, he was learning with people who flew planes that were flown in World War II. You know, they do it recreationally.
Yeah.
Aircraft that were flown in the wars, they fly them for fun because now there's not much use. I was flying out of Lasham Airfield. It's a former military base. You know, right there's a Boeing 787. It's just parked. A 737. It's just parked. It's useless. They've stripped it for parts. They go there and strip it for parts. Okay? There are kids who come every weekend to work on the bodies of aircraft. They're in high school. They haven't written A-levels. They haven't written their GCSEs. They are building airplanes. If that guy goes to an imperial college and studies aeronautic engineering, that person at 23 is a god.
Like, this is a note for parents. This is a note for parents, right? This is a note for parents. Like,
environment largely.
So the formal education is good, right? But there is a place for intentionally training your children, like intentionally training them, like passing down ideas and work ethics. Like, you can't just outsource. Like, you can't just outsource
the
upbringing.
intentionality it takes to raise a child is insane. All right, to raise a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not just raising a child, they're raising a person. And unfortunately, I think, I don't want to say our culture and environment robs us off of that. But it takes a lot of attention. Even look at the Williams sisters. Bro, if their father didn't put in that much work, what happened? Right? And it's just crazy. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of the episode, right? So I think we can give you, in 30 seconds, pitch what you would do, right? What one thing you would do if you were the supreme leader of the world, just for a day.
Supreme leader of the world is a lot, because I was thinking I'm very Afrocentric. I don't want to use the term Pan-African. I'd say I'm Afrocentric. But if I were the supreme leader of the world, I would, sorry Global West, sorry Germany, UK, USA, I would reverse the structures of imperialism, and I would fund African development ridiculously. We would have interconnectedness like Europe. We'd have a Euro rail. We'd have a rail that, we'd be able to go from Gambia all the way to Somaliland or Somalia on one train. You'd be able to go from Tripoli
at the top
to Zanzibar to wherever you want to go in this continent without a passport, without a visa, on a train, in comfort, in peace of mind, and for an economical price. Okay? We would develop shipping lines that take our raw materials, make them into products, and send them to Europe. And then you will become the consumers and we will be the producers. Because I think y'all have done enough. Y'all have done enough.
I know this is definitely something I agree with. This is something I agree with.
Strong point.
Strong point. Really strong point.
You have my vote. You do have my vote. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We've come to the end, and we'll see you on the next pod.
Bye, guys.
Bye.